Welcome to episode number 2 of The Range Podcast. Today we have our friend on the podcast and a guest on the show, Idayu.
Hi guys, hi everybody, I'm Idayu. I'm actually the founder of Electus films, and if you're asking about my role, I am the film director and I run the business with my husband, who is also behind the camera, Tom. And so okay. What do we do today?
Yeah, so today on the show we invited Idayu on the show because she's one of our very good friends that we met when we were working around the area. When we first shifted our operations here. I mean, Range has only been a few months old, less than a year, and ever since we shifted here, we made quite a few good allies and good friends. Will you say?
Yeah. So Idayu, maybe you want to tell us more about what you do on a daily basis. How is your company like?
Yeah, maybe just let the viewers and audience know more about yourself. Like what is Electus?
Okay, I guess to say we are a video production company. We've been in industry for like about 11 years now. At least I've been in industry for about 11 years. And then what we do is we do, of course, all sorts of videos, from commercials, podcasts, all sorts of things. And of course, we're trying to lean towards more narrative works. I mean, corporate is there, but it's just to pay the bills, really. I'm sorry, but it's just how it is. But we've been officially running the business for about 4.5 years. I think we're still a very young company. There's a lot more to learn. I think me and my husband are still trying to expand the team. I guess that's just a bit of about Electus. Basically, I am trying to drop the films, right? Because we just transited to Electus now.
Yeah,
no longer
Electus
films.
is a legit entity, FYI.
So 4.5 years already since. Okay, wow, that must be quite exciting. I mean, like from the journey that you started out with Tom. Maybe you can share with us like what were some of the challenges initially when you first started out.
I guess I can share a bit about challenges and motivation, how I started the business. I think it all started by myself. It is prior, before I met Tom and everything, is my parents. I really wanted to help them. I think I never really understood, they say, I feel like at least I would like to think that I'm from a middle class family, and I think from there and then from there I'm just trying to see if I have a good life, and things like that. But when I first started off and I told my family, okay, look, I kind of want my parents to have a good life, and I think starting a business, honestly speaking, it all derived from my dad showing me all these films, right, when I was a kid, right? And I was like, oh Dad, what does the director do, or what does this person do, And he told me, the highest paying person was the director, and I was very motivated by money when I was a kid. Only because it's fair, because my parents taught me that money is important to run things. But then it evolved, right, my perception throughout it, and I realized that, I want to be a director. And then from there, I want to start a business, because I think that's one of the ways, right? Because I didn't know how to be a director, because all I think about, must go Hollywood, must go send film festival, all sorts of things, right? I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe start a business and see where it will take me lah. Then when I move forward, I grow a bit older, it changes, it evolves to something new, and I realized that actually my parents, they're struggling lah to keep the family up, and living and things like that, and it's not as easy as I think it is, because my parents would be like, oh, don't worry, I'll get you a piano, and then I realized, oh my God, I just realized they spend so many months just trying to make small payments, $100, $200, not even big installment, right? Small installments. Then that really made me understood that, okay, you know what?
The value of money.
Yeah, the value of money, it's not easy, and they're not rich lah, It occurred to me that, oh my God, my parents are not rich, they're not well-to-do. And then from there I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to start a business. And of course that was the main motivation, and then it didn't push me, right? I pondered upon the business for 7 years because of all sorts of things, right? My people telling me, oh, you can't start a business, you need a capital. Oh, you can't start a business, you need a degree. Oh, you need an MBA, blah blah blah.
These are probably people that haven't done never do business.
And you're right, you're true, and I don't blame them, right? Because people grow up with so many different perspectives, different influences, realities, yeah. So I was like, okay lah, But of course, when I was young, I was naive, right? Ooh, I believed in it, and I was like, ooh, okay, I'm very scared. People scare me, right, with all these things. So, oh yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Pondered upon it for 7 years, and then when I tore my ACL, and I was actually a video production manager. It's a small team, but my role was quite, I would say, it's quite. I don't want to say senior, quite senior. I don't want to say important lah. I don't want to say senior lah. I cannot lah. So I was like, okay, fine, But then when I tore my ACL, they kind of just like, oh, okay, they dropped me off.
Oh.
I was like, oof, okay, that hit me.
So they dropped you off just
They dropped me off entirely, but because the thing was, they first said, oh, okay, you can work from home, don't worry. Then mid-month, right, they suddenly say like, oh, you have to clock in the hours, and I'm like, dude, I thought we were on a fixed salary, right, when I'm at home, because they say like, oh, you can't be on shoots now, so I think I would like to feel, it's a bit biased, but I would like to feel like, oh, okay, they feel like I'm no longer of value lah. I cannot be on sets, right? I cannot be in person. I cannot do that. I cannot do this. So they cut me off like that. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe you can think about joining back us again in like December. I'm like, why the 1 month gap, right?
Yeah.
You're not paying me for that 1 month. I can't do that, because at that period my dad just had a stroke. So I was like, who's gonna cover my dad? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think because of that, I just got a bit like intense, like in the situation. I was like, okay, you know what? Still serving my notice period. I tender, and I was still serving my period. And I already met Tom at that point, and I spoke to Tom. I was like, look, I need you to know I've pondered upon my business for 7 years, and I need to have a reason to. It really kickstart Electus because I was angry. I was like, oh wow, okay, you do that to me. And then no one else wanted me, right? Because I couldn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, fine lah. I don't sit down and wallow in self-pity. Then I make jobs for myself. Because if you can't go out there and people don't want you, then you do something for yourself lah. Who else gonna do that for you, right?
Wow.
If it's not yourself.
Yeah.
So I kind of just, okay, I registered. I was in Perth. With my brace, crutches and everything in Perth, right? And I sat down. Tom was still working elsewhere. He wasn't even doing video at the point. So when he knew about all these things, I was like, okay lah. Told him, fine. He came home and was like, Sarah, I registered already. And then he was like, huh? You registered the business?
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. I'm like, but you still like serving your... Yeah, shh. I just like, shh. That's it. It pushes me. It really like told me, showed that, okay, you know what, a bit like, how to say it, life is fragile, and you have to really fight it.
A split second.
Split second, everything
change, right?
Things can change, right? And I really needed that backup, that support system. And I know that, okay, start a business. But guess what? First 3 months, no money coming in. You know that? So much struggle and like...
That's the struggle of a startup, right?
Yeah.
You have deep pockets, then you have to,
Because that's the thing, right? Like...
building everything from scratch.
So, but do you need to have any capital or like any...
I definitely know now that, okay, I think this part of having a capital is true. And I think, of course my parents were one of those people that, I'm not saying they're not bad people at all. They supported me with all their lives, But I think when they say things like, oh, are you sure you want to do this? They're very angry about certain things. I think it's because they have struggled differently, and like they say, they went through it and they kind of not want me to suffer the same, maybe. And I think from there, I just told them, say, look, don't worry about me. I'm not expecting you to help me or be my backup system or be my safety net. I'm fine on my own. So I started the journey. At first, I was a bit angry. I was like, wow, my friends all get whatever they want, right? But when I understood the value of money and understood the situation that they're in, I instantly tried to look at it differently. I told myself, okay, fine. Ma, don't worry about it. I got this. And I want to do it to support them.
Wow. How young were you at that stage, You must have been very young, huh?
Very, very young.
Wow.
I think it was scary for me. I was like 20, I think I registered 22. Registered 22. Okay I've seen younger business owners
Wow. But 22 is really very young.
But when we first started, we didn't have any money at all. We were renting, first 3 months no income. I almost got scammed by a organization because they promised good things, but then suddenly they have all these debt collectors on my door trying to collect $4,000 because I was like, what? Like I don't want to talk too much about it because if not I'm going to digress. It's another can of worms to open. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just moving forward, right? Like doing all these things.
I think also like for your parents, because this is a path less travel.
Yeah.
Not many people at
Yeah.
that kind of age, they will say that, hey, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
So I think to
think-
them it felt a bit like a risk, like a gamble.
I mean, let's realistically speaking, right? Like, this is me being very open and honest, especially for my people. Like, I'm not saying that not a lot of Malay business owners, there are, but I think for us, many of us are the kind that, okay, we'll just work as it is, come as it goes. And I think at the period, my parents, especially for the generation, they're very used to stable income.
Yes.
I guess it
Same.
spreads across
Yeah, I think so.
everyone
Same for
lah,
my
kind of
parents,
thing.
yeah.
But I guess I feel like for my family it's a bit more. They're a bit more conservative on that point. Like, oh, be careful, need a stable job and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah lah, I think what to do. But I guess after a while, I kind of just show it to them. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm still okay. I'm still okay.
You kind of like prove to them that, hey, things are going okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess use it as my why lah. I mean, you have to have a strong why when you first started off, like why you wanted to do it, right? Some people do and want to start a business just because they want to look cool,
Yeah.
but they don't understand the risk
Yes.
Yeah.
behind starting a
And the
business.
hard work and all
Hard
the.
work.
I mean, you took 7 years to dream about this.
Very
Can you
long to
imagine?
dream.
Yeah, that's very long.
Because I was considering lah. I was asking myself if this was the right path to go to, because there's so many people. I tell you, at least 90. This is exaggerating, but okay lah, give and take. 95% of the people that I was surrounded by didn't believe in my dream at all. Because everybody was just like, are you sure? Not sure, bro. And then what one of my employers back then would tell me, hey, you a bit only cry, you want to become a director. I can still see his face, in my head right now until this day. And every time I think about it, I was like, wow, I'm gonna make sure and
You
use that as a
remember me.
fuel,
Yeah.
You remember me one day.
Yeah.
It's arrogance in a way, because I think it helps you a bit. Like, oof, okay, people don't believe me, then don't feed them lah, with these thoughts.
That's their own limitation projecting
on you. Yeah.
to you.
So when you understood that, I guess moving forward is very easy, right?
Wow. You mentioned you tore your ACL.
Yes.
Mind sharing about that?
Okay lah. Actually, prior to Electus Films, I was a parkour coach.
Parkour.
Jam around.
You do that one.
Say okay, don't try this at home. Okay, whatever I do outside is always floor, ground level. Nothing else. We don't do roof to roofs. Okay, whatever you see is all experts. Stunt. Yeah.
Even the guy behind the camera also.
Yeah. We all do this kind of things. We love it, and I think there's a magic lah behind it. I feel like there's like in Malay say it, Malay say hikmah sebaliknya. I will translate. I don't know how to say it in English.
Hikmah.
So basically the magic behind these things, these events, right? I don't know how to say it. It's, what silver lining? I don't know. What do you call it? Like, I don't know. And there's a term for it. Maybe Tom will know. Maybe Tom letak subtitle put subtitle here.
Insert subtitle.
Yeah. And I guess it when it happened, I was just like, okay, I was training arrogant, because I was like I'm the only one could move very well at that point, right? Girl some more. Move. And then really I think it teach me not to be too arrogant and complacent with my trainings. Tore my ACL, man. That's it. I was just doing a small vault, and then
What move was that?
it was just a hand vault, right?
Hand vault meaning like
on a foam pit.
What's the hand vault?
You place 2 hands on a block and then you skedaddle in off obstacle.
Scoot and then landed wrong.
Yeah.
And
So
then pop.
I was really tired, and I think I partially torn at that point. I thought I sprained my knee. I was like, okay lah. Train in it the next few months. See Tom, go bounce, train.
Again.
See his groove. Then after that, finally when Tom came here, because it was a long distance, right? Tom came here, and I tore my ACL. Stuck. Someone double bounce me, spin, pop.
Oh.
That was it. That was
How many years ago was this? Back
that
in
was 2017.
17. Wow, so okay lah, not say quite recent, but
It's still I still, but I tell you, all these experiences really teach me to be more mindful, right?
of course, not
With
getting
my
any
training.
younger.
I'm not getting younger, yeah, it's true. And then because I'm running a business now, I have to be very careful, right? I can't just jump around and throw myself around. I mean, I could if I'm stronger. Well, I'm working towards it, but yeah. So yeah lah, that's the story of the AC. I'm trying to condense it now. If not,
It's fine, that's okay.
Yeah,
How do you get into parkour? What introduced or what sparked the interest for you to get into parkour?
Shout out to Chow Bell. Legit, I watched Yamakasi. My dad loved Yamakasi a lot.
Yamakasi, District. That's a movie. District 19.
District 13.
That's the.
But Banyu 13. I don't know. I think so.
That's iconic, man. That film.
Yeah.
I
That was David
French.
Bell.
That was a French film.
Then before B13 was Yamakasi. So Yamakasi was a really old
Yamakasi,
film
yes.
directed by Luc Besson. Of course, you know, in
Parkour,
Parkour and stuff.
French, right? It's in
French.
Oh, the movie.
So it was just pretty interesting. And then I saw there were people training at Clarke Quay. And I was training by myself, right? I
By
slowly
yourself?
climb, go down, slowly climb. Yeah, by myself.
Oh, you did.
And then, but I met the guy who knew the Yamakasis at Clarke Quay. So he was training. He saw that I was training. He invited me. He said like, hey, you know, we train every like, you know, morning at 7 a.m. If you're free, come down and train. I was like,
Every
my
day?
school is nearby every day.
Every
We
day?
train every day.
Wow.
Yeah, so
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Wow.
at Clarke Quay. There's a U ramp there.
Yes.
So that's how I started off. Right now I started coming and he said, don't worry, it's free. I'm like, okay, free training, what? Again, got group. I'm like, let's go. So I just went for it, train. After a while, then I found out that he knew the Yamakasi guys. And I was like, wow. At first when it happened, starstruck, right? Insert Chow's face here.
How big was the group, sorry?
The one in the Clarke Quay, right?
Ah.
Clarke Quay. Not so big, only like 4 or 5 of them. But they were all seniors, they were all in their 30s, late 30s, late 40s.
Wow, and this-
So are you still practicing parkour right now?
Yes,
Really?
definitely, yeah.
Still practicing now?
But I try to not make it all about, I practice parkour, must post. I think it's become very, I don't say mental and spiritual journey for me when it comes to fitness. I think it's more of just making sure that I make slow transition and be healthy. Because I want to be able to do parkour till I'm 50, right? Not like till I'm like 20 or something. Because there are people out there who are like, 50, 65, still jumping, doing handstands. I'm like, I want to be that, you know. So I guess I have no rush in my journey. I'm like, okay, I train. Whenever I have time, I train. If I don't have time, I put my time to film.
Yeah.
So you train by yourself?
Now we train by ourselves, yeah. I'll go out, train with Tom, we'll spend some time. We've been so busy, so our trainings have just been only the both of us. Yeah.
Wow, a lot of hidden talent. Can skateboard lah, then can do parkour, can do bouncing.
Trampoline.
Trampoline.
Yeah. But we try to just keep it. We'll see. Hopefully at some point we're trying to channel this. I don't know if you call it maybe talents. Channel this talents and try to see how we can turn passion into a full-time thing. That we can make money with the things that we want to do lah. You know, like trampoline.
But have you always been like an active kid from young?
Definitely. I jump around, I climb everywhere.
So your childhood, I mean, tell us more about that. Like, were you a very outgoing and very?
I wish I still have clips of me jumping around as a kid. Oh my god, I'm so active. In front of the camera, my dad would put the camera there and I'll be like trying to do a stuntman pose, and if my sister comes in, I'll get so upset, I'll cry, you know, because I really like the attention, right?
It's your screen time.
Now my screen time, you don't disturb, I tell you, you know, like, you know, so it's like, I pose, and my sister will be like, I'm like, go in! I started crying, I'm like, god dang, I feel like some things don't change. No lah, I'm not like that anymore, but like, but it's just like that, I've been very active.
Oh, you mentioned your father pulling up a, what is that, camcorder back then? Camcorder.
Yeah.
So you always grew up with films around the house. Was that your dad's profession? Your father's profession?
No, actually it's very interesting. My dad does IT his entire life. He's always just do IT work. Like that means like repair comms, you know, teach computer classes and things. And then, but he's loved film all of his life. He wants to do what I'm doing right now. And I mean, unfortunately, my dad has stroke, and I wish I could literally pull him here to show him that this is
what you have.
This is how far I've come, right? I mean, it's just a small studio, honestly.
Oh, but it's what?
But like, because he has been the one, like, he was the one who will slam, scold me, oh, you think you can make money with film? I told you already, right? He scolds me and do that, but I talk him out, I say, you know, we need to talk something out. Like, I love film, I cannot see myself do anything else. And then I realized, you know what, it's probably because he wants to do film all the time and he knows that the money wasn't there back then. He didn't have money, right?
That was
He
his
was
fear.
afraid.
That was his fear.
So he doesn't want me to go through the same thing, and I feel it now. I was like, whoa, okay. So, of course, this is not driven just by my dad. You know, I have interest in film for the longest time, but knowing that I can live this for him as well makes me feel good about it, because I'm like, okay, you know, at least I'm doing what he wants to do lah, and then I can share it with him. You know, I can bring it home, say, yeah, you know, and every time I try to feed him and things, when he's in his bed, he will pull up our shirt, he will touch. I say, yeah, Electus films. Say, proud or not? I'm also proud myself.
So proud.
No, I show him, right? Hopefully he understands what I'm trying to say. But that's one thing lah. I think that's where the whole thing comes. My family has been in the creative side for the longest time. So
Do you show him like your edited works or not? Do you like show him?
no, I think that's one thing, right? I feel like our good friend Akim, he's been telling
Singapore's
me like
#1 MC.
Yeah.
Akim.
Then he's told me, it's like, Ayu, take some videos, man. I'll take something for you. Show your dad the space.
Yeah.
Bring it home
That's
to
nice.
him, right? Sure.
I'd be so proud, right?
Yeah.
Since it's his passion also. You grew.
It's his
I mean, your passion grew because he exposed you at a very
Yeah.
young age.
My
to
mom as
film.
well, you know. I feel like my mom, okay, she's always done all these like things like baking, cooking, all the typical stuff, like typical mother stuff, right? But
Typical mother stuff.
typical
Okay, but I don't do that. Sorry.
sorry, no lah, typical that kind of mother stuff. Makcik
Makcik.
stuff. Yeah, makcik stuff.
Shout out to all the makciks in Yishun, yeah.
Wait, but you know what? Funnily speaking, my mom can draw. She can draw, so maybe I got the genes from her. My dad can draw as well, but my mom's amazing artist. She can draw.
Wow. I think, you know, I'm just very curious. How was it like for y'all before the pandemic, and, you know, how did y'all actually get through the pandemic? And still going through now, lah.
Well, I guess, okay, honestly speaking, we were just about to transit. I feel like we were about to be the company we want to be, you know, the ideal, like, you know, like, I don't know how to say it, but like, you know, we were almost like, okay, you know what, went to Japan, like we just discussed, right, we went to Japan, came back, we were having our honeymoon back then. Right at the end of our Japan trip, we were also shooting for something there. We came back and then everything just disappeared, right? Ended our trip to Sydney for a shoot, Blue Mountain's gone. We got big gigs cancelled. Everyone cancelled because everybody just couldn't do anything, right? Everybody was struggling. So we lost everything, from things that could help us upgrade our equipment, get team members, crew, gone, just like that. But I guess how we, you know, like say, you know, like we persevered through the pandemic, I think most of the time we were just trying to see what we can do. We took it as an opportunity to improve our portfolio skills, things that we can touch on, things we have control over. And when I say control over, also things like we try to hustle all the government funds that were given at that point. I think that helped us a lot. Every single opportunity where I can pitch in and say, guys, you know, I'm struggling and things like that, I'm very thankful for a lot of these funds. The Film Association actually helped us as well, you know, when we had things. So we had supporting funds that came in, but it only just to help cover bills, really. And my family at that point, right, my dad and things like that. Nothing got to do, nothing went back to the business. So the business, the only thing we can invest, I think it's one thing I want to talk about, was when you have time, you don't have money, you give time.
Yes.
You know, when you have when you don't have time, then you use money, right, to do that. It's just this kind of things, because it's just how it is, you know, like you can't have both, I feel. You know, you won't have time and then you have, it's just, I don't know how to say it, like you get what I mean, you have to give and take a bit. Yeah, so because we don't have money at that point, we have time, right? Okay lah, then use that time to invest in something else lah. Skills, look at, you know, we watch films, see how we can improve, and that's pretty much it.
Very good point.
Because for us, I think it was scary during that period, because we see a lot of our friends, our business owner friends, right, all dropping everything.
Ran out of business.
Ran out of business, closing shops, selling out their shop houses. It's really scary, because you're like, ooh, are we going to be next? You know, we don't know, right? And I mean, it's very obvious. You just, people will be scared of the unknown, because, you know, and of course, this thing, we care about it. It is very important for us. Business is very important to us. But that being said, we also give ourselves no option to quit. It means like, if everything goes to shit, we're not going to give it up. You get what I'm saying? We're gonna stay, we're gonna persevere through, we're gonna see what we can do to bring it back up. So that's exactly what happened. We have to start from scratch. It feels like as if we just started a business again, because you know what, Electus got a new, we had a new perspective for Electus, you know. It was a fresh start for us. And in fact, I think it was a big blessing for us, because after the pandemic, we feel like we rise up. We upgraded, yeah. So I think, I know some people suffer through a lot, and I don't want to say this for these people, right? People have family who passed on for COVID and things like that. And I'm not saying like, oh, we had a good time. No one had a good time during the pandemic, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, for sure. So I think that's how we persevered through. I think just trying to find our footings and just look at it differently. Yeah. It's not easy. I mean, you know, it really isn't. You know, you kind of sit down, and there are really a lot of times. But this is the reason why I say you have to know your why. Your why has to be super strong, right? So when it challenges you, it questions you at that point, you can actually remind yourself of your why. You can think like, hey, actually, you know what, this is why I started off. And that why doesn't have to be fixated on one thing, right? It can evolve through time.
For sure.
It really evolves. From the beginning, my why was all about money, you know. I want to make a lot of money, but it evolved, right? It became my parents. And then it evolved because Tom came into the picture, then it becomes family, right? My family, Tom, because I want to say, hey, you know, I want to offer opportunities to people, growth, and for whatever I go through, I want to take that and then give it to other people. I want to make sure that, okay, people are struggling to do film because it's expensive. I want to actually open that door, because it's the same thing with Tom, right?
Yeah.
You know, he was like, oh, okay, I want to do film. I tell that, you know what, don't waste money on school.
I was just saying I relate to the point where you said, you know, things were going so great, so good before the pandemic. You know, like things were opening up, opportunities, you know, were coming your way, and then when the pandemic hit, everything just came to a standstill, right? If not, actually things sort of, when you guys actually took a few steps back, but during the downtime, you guys actually managed to pivot and maneuver, because you made use of the downtime to study your craft. You know, your love for film made you still want to, your why made you study films, you know, study, you know, cinematography or certain directors, so that, you know, you are sort of like when you say you don't have money, you use time, right? This time you invest it back into your own craft, right? And I totally relate to that, because like range only started, like range RPT, personal training, only started last year December. So that was already after the lockdown. So yeah, things were slowly opening up, but the future was still a bit
Uncertain.
very uncertain, because nobody really got to know what's the new normal gonna be like. I hate to use the word new normal, but sadly it is, you know, like, I mean, if you take a look at the news right now, there's a lot of back and forth, so the future is very unknown, right? So like when I started range personal training, I doubted my own craft, to be honest. Right, I was like, wow, taking a steady paycheck every month, but by leaving, I had to think about whether my clients will follow me or not. You know, I'm starting everything from scratch. You know, I'm building everything from scratch. Now I have to not just be a coach, but actually think about the outlook of the business as well. You know, think about, you know, like accounts, cash flow, and all of that. Obviously, I have an accountant to help me with all that jargon, but still the month to month stress is very real, right? It's very real. To make ends meet. Like most people, they have a very dramatized and glamorized point of view when they think about business. Do you think so?
Yeah,
like they say, do business, wow, come out, make money, be your own boss.
But
man,
it's far from that, man.
You know, like that joke that they have, right? Like, oh, I want to get rid of my 9-to-5 job. Now I end up working 24/7. That is real, man. That is so real. I wanted to say as well, because I guess, you know, during the pandemic, kind of give you this, like when you mentioned downtime, it puts you in a space where nothing else matters at that point. You realize that, oh, now you really see what's important. Because you're so distracted with the noise everywhere, right? And then you kind of like, ooh, when everything else doesn't exist now, because everything's dead, You know, everybody's quiet, everybody's hiding at home, like, ooh, I can't go out now.
Yeah.
Then you realize that, wow, what's important?
What's essential for you?
Yeah, what's essential right now, what's important for you to survive, right? That is
Yeah.
the elimination game. When you eliminate all the unnecessary, suddenly you realize that this is what's important, you know? And then you just focus, you narrow down 100, multiple, you know, like you say, okay, this is it,
you
this is
really
what it is.
Tenfold. Tenfold of
down.
your attention back into what you love.
Yeah, everything you love, because it's just how it is. Because if not, you will crash, huh? You know, especially at times like this.
And I totally agree that, you know, like, you know, when you first, I mean, for me, when I started the range counselling, I think it was also very scary because I was just right in the middle of like the whole pandemic, you know, like everybody is telling me, are you crazy? Are you want to leave your stable civil servant job just to start your own thing? And I'm like, yeah, but it's been a dream for so long. And then nobody really understood. And I mean, except my family and my close friends and my husband.
Yeah, husband signaling.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, the idea of dropping like a stable income and then to do your own thing, and then like Idayu said, everything you think that, you know, is your own boss is like, wow, very fun and like, wow, good things all the way, but actually it's a lot of mental load, and every day you're just
Discipline,
thinking, discipline, you know, learning to draw the boundary and knowing like, okay, I need to stop thinking about this now, so now is my family time, you know. But during the working, like for me, I didn't have any capital to begin with. I have like super little, you know, and like it's very difficult to like, I really love the analogy of you only have time but you don't have money. So all my time, I really just sit down and just do content.
You invest back your time lah. You can't invest in time, you invest in money. You
Yeah.
invest in money, you invest like
And I really like that, because I think it's so true. If we don't have any money, what we can do for our business is really to just put back our effort.
Our hours.
Yeah, with
Sharpen
our
your
time.
sword,
Yeah,
you know,
and to get
sharpen
better at
your
your
craft.
craft again and again. Whether it's like writing stuff, and everything just goes back into a business, and it's like you feel very fulfilled even though there's no monetary like
value lah.
yeah, correct, yeah.
But it's your baby, right?
Yeah, correct.
It's
And
your
you like you said, you know, you just want to push everything to make sure it survives because this whole period is so
all about survival.
yeah, it's really just keeping yourself afloat. Yeah.
Because if you really think about it, your business when you start off, if you're really keen, you care about it, it's the core values, it's your soul, you know.
Yeah.
Your business is your soul. It represents you and your vision and your values.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing people need to understand when you're starting a business. That's why I said that's the why, right, behind it.
Yeah.
One conversation I had with, I will always reiterate to so many different people, like the conversation I had with Gary Vee really changed my life.
Gary Vee.
Yeah, I spent time with him, and I told him, I said, look, with so many people just jumping on different trends about, oh, I want to start this kind of business. I want to start selling slimes, you know, like so many what makes you special, right? How do you stand out, you know, from all these trends and from all these people who end up looking the same?
Yeah.
How do you become special? You just say you die on your own sword, right? He always say it all the time. He say like, okay, you believe in your why, you trust it so much, and then no matter what people say, no matter how people say you or teach you how to run your business, you die on your own sword. So that means you know that no matter what, it's your own word. You eat
your own words.
Yeah, you eat your own words, right?
Yeah.
You say like, okay, I want to do this, then you go back to it.
Yeah.
Because I guess from that is the feedback you get from people as well. Whatever feedback you hear from people about your works, this is one thing I want to talk about. I think can easily just talk about it now. Is the fact that you have to look at it constructively. The feedback, you shouldn't feel like as if like, oh, now I have to change my entire idea just to fit into people's narrative. No.
Yeah.
People's feedback is there so you can tell your why and your message that they can understand better. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
can understand better, not to change it, but to amend it, to shift it around so that people can understand it better.
Right.
So your message is still there. That's what you do with people's feedback, right?
Yeah.
And then you can just do some things. I don't know, man. I feel like at the end of the day, business it's easy and it's also not easy.
Yeah.
It really depends on how you
Yeah,
get
and
it.
I really love that, you know, you said that your why changes through every season.
It evolves.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I also feel like really initially, you know, the priority was like, oh, I just want to make the business float, but now it's become like more like, wow, you know, what is driving me? And then every season there's different reasons for keeping.
You're driven by different things.
Yeah, correct. And I think it's really wonderful because some people think that your why will always be the same, but actually it evolves as you evolve also. Yeah, so I think that's just really a very good reminder.
With
for me.
circumstances lah.
Yeah.
It's good that you have this range, right? This
Yeah.
word range. because it is what it is. You know, like you also need to have a range of like how to say like. I wouldn't say emotions to deploy when you need to, but like like literally like adaptability, like you need to adapt to
You need to
different.
adapt, right?
Yeah, whatever tools you have, whatever skills.
Make use of it, man.
Because
Like
this is the season where you need to just survive,
use whatever you have.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for example, I don't want to go back to us, but like when I was starting off, I didn't have money, right? But I had people. I had people around me, and I convinced everybody. I was like, guys, please, can I just put your business on my name? I borrow your camera. Just camera, for like 1 day, for like 2 hours, please. I put your business name. Boss, please, boss, can I borrow your slider? So I just talk, and I say, can you please, I just put you on as a sponsor. And then that's it. I didn't have money, but I say, you know what, in return, I'll help you do something. Barter trade is not a good thing to do all the time, but there needs to be a line lah. You need to know that whatever you offer people is as of value for them, and whatever you require for them, they can give value back to you. Like, it has to be mutual lah.
If not, that will be just taking advantage already.
Right. But I need to say it, right, because some people think they're offering value to so many different people when they don't. Some people, what I say, some people.
We have these people in the industry lah. Right. It is what it is.
And it's sad because kids nowadays think like it's easier to start business, right? And it's I care, because this is our future generation. We are the ones that are going to set the path for these people, but they are also going to set the path for the people in the future. But we need to tell them, right? Like, guys, it's not all about the glamour. You can't just register your name like, dude, look, I'm a new personal trainer, I'm the boss. Like, no. So much responsibility. Because at first it becomes, it's you, right? Then your responsibility is all your money and financial you have to manage. Then when you grow, you are responsible for people, like for other people. Yeah, other people's growth. Then that itself, people don't understand, because it is a big responsibility. You just have kids. That itself, that responsibility, like.
It's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
Every day I'm just
It's
thinking.
like, am I being a good parent?
Yeah.
This is the exact same thing. That's why we always say, my business, my baby. Exact same notion. You really have to think like, how am I supposed to nurture the business, grow?
Make sure that it continues for longevity. And I remember last time he was telling me, like business is not just like once you start and you boom, boom, boom all the way up. It's like a long period of like up and down, but a lot of downs. Then only like after a very long time, then suddenly boom,
Sometimes the dip can be really big, like you kind of just like woo. And then that, for some people, is that drop, right, that will actually propel them back way further.
Wow.
But that drop is where it challenges you the most. I tell you, it will question you.
And you have to keep questioning your why.
You have to ask yourself like, oh my god, like why am I still here? Do I still want to carry on? It's scary. It's a very scary feeling, and sometimes you will be depressed. It's very scary because it will put you to that situation where you're like, okay, what do I do now? And then you don't know where to seek help, right? You just have to.
So
I totally get that.
Support system is so important.
Because first few months I started out, I was like, wow, might as well work for somebody. All this trouble just to build, but again, it's the compounding effect, right? Like just this week, I was reading a quote. Someone wrote an IG post. I think it was Alex, my friend. Shout out to Writing Physio. I think it was Writing Physio. So he wrote this very good post about hammering rocks. Read that, right? Hammering rocks. He said something in the narrative of when you chip away at a rock, on the 100th time, then it breaks. Then you have this breakthrough, but it doesn't mean that that one particular stroke was the cause. It was the previous 99 that accumulate to that. So it's exactly like what Ayu said earlier, right? That you when the deep actually do come, it will challenge you to your core. But then it's sort of like the metaphor, right? Like a slingshot. Before you get propelled forward, you need to be drawn back first.
And the funny thing is, people don't see all the years of the effort or the time where you have been challenged and stretched and pulled apart. And they only see that.
People see the glam, right?
You got big boss already, that kind of thing. But they don't see that every day we're just stressing and like putting effort and just worrying and a lot of emotional. It's a lot of emotions, a lot of difficulties that people don't see. Only the closest ones. Like every day, I'm just like, how I got no money.
These are very real. These are very real problems. These are very real problems.
I don't know whether I want to say this.
Say only.
Say only.
Say only. Say only.
It's about the thing like yesterday we got the news, remember? That one, guys. Oh my god. That one was. This is the many years of like doubt from people and everything. Wow, it's very emotional for me when I say about this. I finally got like our biggest project of all time. Like massive. And then that was like the biggest moment, right?
Wow, I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know.
I don't want to spoil it. Cannot say yet.
Cannot
Yeah,
say.
cannot say.
Cannot say. No.
Off camera.
No.
Yeah. Or you can say lah. Say.
Yeah, I know.
What is that?
I know.
Yeah, it's a short film commercial, and I've been pitching for the past few years, and I was really like rubbing shoulders with people with many years of experience.
Wow.
And I got my Squid Game moment, the director got rejected for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. Then yesterday when I got the call, I said, you got the gig.
Exactly.
I was like,
Wow, congratulations, Electus.
hey, legit.
I was like, you're gonna cry.
Wow.
I was like,
Tissue ready, yeah?
hey, no, legit guys, right? Because for me, like, I cannot register that, I finally got the gig. It's a lot of work, like,
of course.
there's many years of experience. I try to
feel
sit
happy.
down, I try to like channel my inner self, my inner experience, write the story and everything. And I'm always like, I don't want because they're always going to look at all these big guys who are all this party, abang-abang, like 20, 30-year-old, 20 years experience, 20 years, 30 years. And I'm only like, what, 10, 11, such a junior, right? Who's going to look at my story, And then when I wrote it and then they say, they accepted it, I was like,
Wow.
Real.
yeah,
This is the real life underdog story.
yeah, legit. I was like, wow, finally. And then I remember his face again. Hey, you sure you want to be director? I'm like, I'm like, I cannot, guys. It's the combining effect, really. I feel like people don't see that. People gonna see like, wow, no, big deal. No, like,
Same with the whole like overnight success. No one's really knows.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw the
Exactly.
many times I sit down, I pitch, people don't like, I say, and then sometimes I have feedback from people like, hey, your story craps, like,
rejection,
like no one's gonna watch this. I'm like,
fine.
okay, Lord, you
It's
don't watch,
fine.
then don't watch. I'll watch you watch anyway.
Yeah, it's
You know?
fine.
You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
just like the people who think that this show not informative, then don't watch. Nobody forcing you to watch anyway. It's okay. It's just us. It's just us talking only. You
But
can
I
shut
mean,
this shit if you don't
the
want
thing
to
is,
watch.
if it benefits you, you take it away, right? If you don't, then it's fine. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because if
There's someone for everyone.
I like it, man. I like it.
someone will benefit from it. I do believe so, And it takes time. It takes time for people to realize, because you know what? You can also, you look at it this way, Sometimes when people don't think that your stuff is of value, it's because, you know what? They're not at the right place at that point. Maybe the information that we're providing them is not not useful to them. And then maybe, who knows, 2 years later they come like, actually, I remember Ming and Pris did this thing back then. They talk about this. Maybe I should watch again. Then actually quite good, It's because why they needed that message at that point.
Yeah.
So
It
that's
reminds
just
me
like
also, like people how they will want to spend money on expensive bags or the latest iPhone. To them it's like wow, that is valuable for
Hey,
them.
11 yesterday.
Yeah. But then simple things like their health or their mental health, they don't want to put in money because to them it's just not important. Then they say like, very expensive, but you're
But they won't. In a blink of an eye will drop that kind of money to buy an
for
iPhone.
the phone on the bag. So it's like, I think it's about their priorities.
Priorities.
Yeah, they don't feel like maybe health is not so important for me. I'm still okay. But
You don't see it, you haven't seen it, but that's
Yeah,
okay, right?
yeah.
Because people are everybody at different places, different
correct.
time,
Different season also.
different season,
Yeah.
Because it's just how it is. People will always like be at their space because that's what's comfortable to them at that point.
Yeah.
And people will stick to it because it feels most safest.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
for sure.
They love being in safe places.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do lah.
I also read another funny quote the other day. Someone was saying, if you have tummy ache or like whatever ache you have, like health problem, you go and see a doctor, right? But if you want to lose weight, you want to like get better or set healthy habits, first you go on the internet. Then you try everything that doesn't work. Then you go and find a coach.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So I thought it was really funny. Sometimes it's all about priorities, right?
Yeah.
And also, this is for this episode, I find for the second episode, it's very apt that we have you on the show, because she really is an embodiment of what we believe our ethos about people with range.
Yeah.
Right, you hear about her story about how
the art lah, the jumping.
yeah exactly parkour lah, what
Parkour, sorry.
I really think it all adds up to this, right? I feel it comes back to this moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really find that like it's in talking to people or even spending time with people, in
People of
different
range.
no, not even just people of range, like people in different industry.
Yeah.
Some might even think that different specialists, but what they don't understand is that yes, they might be specialists in their own field, but man, you hear she might be a film director,
Yeah.
but she does parkour, film editing, all this stuff that is
It's added
sort of
on.
added on.
Yeah.
She can draw from transferable skills,
Yeah.
and also stuff outside of.
When you expose yourself to more experiences, more different things, you wouldn't say exposed to more different, but more exposed to different things. It gives you different experiences that helps you with other parts of your life, right? That you don't tend to think about. Sometimes you think like, okay lah, everything I do must be fixated at the gym and things. But no, sometimes when you go out, you do different things, and you realize that, hey, actually I can apply this to this.
Yeah.
You learn from different industries, right? You look into different things, different people. I learned so many things from you guys as well. Like like knowing that what you feel, you go through this emotion. I like that honesty, right, that we share. Like you telling us, oh, I'm not comfortable with this. Actually, I feel like this about something. Then I learn from it. Oh, actually, you know what? We are just humans, and we thrive, we grow, we try to improve, and it's normal. You just learn from one another, and that's how we have to look at each other to survive.
Yes.
You just need to, again, it comes back to that, adapt.
Yeah,
Adapt.
adaptable.
And also I think very good that you say that, because in my own industry, like because personal trainers or like coaches, there are so many out there. People tend to see each other like competition. But instead of seeing each other as competition, why not we, like you said, we can learn from each other. He might be good at a certain
different strength.
like he might be so for example like a power lifter. I can learn from him. He might be working with combat athletes, MMA fighters or whatever. I can learn from him. Like, even though I just train mainly general population, but from all these people, I'm learning stuff every day. I think it's also part of it's a mindset also. Sometimes you think like, wow, I'm the hot shit. I don't need to learn. I made it already. No need to learn from anybody. I think that's a very slippery slope. Right.
You imitate what's good for you, and then try to improve from there, make it your own, and then you learn from the bad things, the bad experiences, the bad stuff.
Anything else you guys want to add?
No, actually, no.
If not, shall we close?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we come to the end of episode 2. So thank you, Ayu, for your time, for sharing so genuinely about your upbringing, your childhood, and also sharing with us some of your hardship, and also congratulations on the big project. Wow, Electus growing. So yeah, check us out. Check this episode out on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. If you want to watch the video, it's on YouTube. See you guys.